was 4 other boys there on the road here. We sort of grew up together. We were almost like brothers, and we just spent all day on the beach, or we'd go out fishing. And back them days, you could just go out any place on a stream, you know, and catch 20 brook trout, you know, 8, 9, 10 inches long and longer. And it was just a wonderful childhood. I mean, I just had all the freedom we wanted.
When we were children, every family day was on a Sunday. My dad and mother always took us for a ride and bought us ice cream at the store. That was our treat for the week.
You know, in them days, things were tough. I know we used to go at night and get pulpwood on the shore and cut it to keep warm that night. And it was my mother. My dad too. Oh, we went on an old gasoline boat. We'd go on picnics, and we'd stay partly all day with an old gasoline motor. And us kids, and they'd make whistles for us, and we enjoyed ourselves. He was from Garden River. He'd cut this, and then he'd hit that bark all the way around and get it loose, and then he'd make us all whistles for us kids when we went out in the woods, and we knew where we were. Yeah.
One of the things that we had when we were kids, we used to listen to, my dad used to tell stories, my uncle would tell stories about the people coming over from Beaver Island. In the middle of the winter, they would have like 22 teams coming over. They'd come over, they would all be polished and the bells on, and they would come across the ice, and what they would do is after the ice had frozen, they would get hay from the farmers, because the farmers we were all people from Navan, we were people that were French, but the people from Engadine, where we went to school, were all from like Germany and Croatia and things like that. And there was always a slight rivalry. We were always great friends, and they would call us fish guts, and we would call them they would cow pies. We'd call them, you know. It was kind of funny.
And another thing, went to school one day, and the cook says, the teacher that was teaching us how to cook, told us we were going to make ice cream. We made ice cream, but everybody was having an awful time chopping the ice to get it in around the ice cream freezer. So I don't know which one of us took a hold of a hammer and went down. We broke it all up in no time, flat. And Dad says, "That's my twins."
And then there was the bread breaking. Bread. She baked like, what was it, 6 loaves at a time?
Yeah. Every time you sat in it, raised up that eye, and she come home from school and sat right in
it. She probably pushed me.
Then we'd get up during the night and go out cooning apples. And my dad would be on a night shift, and he'd come home, we'd see him coming, we'd lay down in the ditch till he got by. We never did anything bad, you know, it was just hilarious when you think of it.
My brother took that old Ford that he had got and took me along with them up there to Point Shane. They said, "You're going to drive it home." And I said, "What?" They said, "You're going to drive it home." And they sat and explained to me what to do. They said, "We'll get you going, and then we'll jump off, and you take it home. But when you get home, you'll have to slide down and put your feet on both pedals," they said, "and it'll stall." I said, "Okay." And then I was tickled to death, because I was like that anyway. Yeah. I was either 5 or 6 years old. And I had 2 tracks to follow all the way down. I thought I was king of the road. Oh, the thoughts that went through a kid at that age, driving a vehicle. I drove up into the yard, and my mother and dad were sitting on this porch, and they didn't see anybody in the truck. And all of a sudden, the truck came to a halt. Anyway, he came running out to the truck when I stopped. And he said, "We didn't see anybody in the truck. We don't know how in the world." And then he was really furious, because he said, "What did those boys let you do, drive that thing home?" And oh, I was happier in the lark.
I can remember way back, you know, when my father took me hunting. My uncle taught me how to trap. And I can remember being the only member of my family that is alive today. I missed many opportunities of Indian culture. We had an old medicine lady down St. Ignace. I was go with her everywhere when she was picking roots and, you know, Indian medicine. I know where the places are, but I wouldn't know what to look for. This is what she was trying to teach me. That art is losing. We're losing that art of, you know, medicine. And most of my family lived at what west of St. Ignace, Point of Shane. The only thing I can remember of my family is my grandmother. You know, we used to go out and get the logs, and 9.5 pound a log, and the ash trees. And after I got into it, I liked it. You know, when you start from scratch. And then I looked at my basket and I couldn't believe that I made that. It was really an accomplishment.
I wished and prayed to the Creator many days in my life to find Mom, my mom. And I did. And we were very closely related then. And I had my real mom to love again. And that I prayed for all my life. Because I knew she was there somewhere. And I knew she helped give me my life. I knew my dad did. So I wanted both of them. And I missed them very much. And that's why I like the powwow today and homecoming, togetherness. I miss them.
That's the beauty of the powwows. Now, just last evening, we met some of our kinship again. Cousins.
That's what I was gonna get at.
Disney, yeah. Every year, it seemed like we picked up another one that was found that we were related to. So I can feel it within me, you know, in the spirits where this family of mine is coming together. And I just look at it, I'm happy with it.
Answered prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Right from me.
It's being answered, you know, because there's more to come, I believe.
But he was a very quiet person, except when he drank, then he'd go on the warpath, they'd say. And he didn't care about nothing. He'd wreck everything, and just very, very... Mother says we're lucky we're living the way he'd go on them rampages all the time. And us kids would see all of that. But he thought anything like that was funny, you know, and that pleased him, to be mean. So to say we had any family life, we certainly didn't. And if you have a family, love them and take care of them as long as you can. Because you don't have them forever. Just be glad God gave them to us.
Most everybody you knew was poor. I know, like I said, my parents could not feed us, and we were shipped to one brother or one uncle or aunt. As I look back, I can understand a lot of reasons why I can't remember things, because my older brothers and sisters were farmed out someplace. And then my sister and I were, and then that left 2 boys still home. But I guess I was a very innocent, naive kid. And I'm glad now, because I wouldn't have wanted to know. But we all survived, and we all knew that we had very loving parents who cared about us, and that's a heck of a lot more than a lot of people have had. So we were rich in many ways. When I hear people talk about their parents and how they grew up, I think it's pretty sad. We were very lucky.